In his speech on March 11th, the president of Ukraine reported on a recent meeting between the Ukrainian delegation and an American team in Saudi Arabia. He described the discussion as constructive and detailed, covering many aspects of Ukraine's pursuit of peace. Ukraine's proposal to the American side consisted of three main points: silence in the skies with no missiles, bombs, or long-range drones, silence at sea, and real measures to establish confidence through the release of prisoners, military and civilians, and the return of Ukrainian children taken to Russia. The president stated that the American side understands and accepts these proposals and expressed gratitude to President Trump for the constructive dialogue. During the discussion, the American side proposed an immediate complete ceasefire for 30 days along the entire frontline, including the air and sea. The president announced that Ukraine accepts this proposal and considers it positive, expressing their readiness to take this step. However, he emphasized that the United States needs to convince Russia to agree to this ceasefire. If Russia agrees, the silence will take effect immediately. An important part of the discussions also involved America's readiness to restore defense assistance and intelligence support to Ukraine. The president noted that if the ceasefire agreement is reached, the 30 days of silence would provide enough time for Ukraine and its partners to prepare framework documents to ensure a reliable peace and lasting security guarantees. The president affirmed that Ukraine is ready for peace and called upon Russia to demonstrate its own readiness to end the war. He concluded by thanking diplomats, the team in Saudi Arabia, and everyone who supports Ukraine, reiterating the commitment to preserving independence and protecting the lives of the Ukrainian people, and expressing the desire for an honorable peace. The United States said in a joint statement with Ukraine following the meeting in Jeddah that it would immediately lift the pause on intelligence sharing and resume security assistance to Ukraine. As of March 11th, Putin has not yet officially responded to the call for a 30-day ceasefire proposed by the United States and accepted by Ukraine, nor has the Kremlin issued a formal statement regarding the ceasefire proposal. However, Russian ultranationalist voices, including a Russian State Duma deputy, largely rejected the ceasefire proposal. Russian millbloggers, including Kremlin co-opted millbloggers, rejected the ceasefire proposal, claiming the United States and Ukraine would abandon peace at the first opportunity and the war in Ukraine. They also claim the war is existential for Russia. Ukraine's allies and partners from Europe, Asia, and Oceania continue efforts to strengthen the Ukrainian military and back Ukraine with security guarantees, the most effective deterrent against future Russian aggression against Ukraine following a potential future peace agreement. French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu stated on March 11th that France will refuse any form of demilitarization of Ukraine, and that the first guarantee of security remains the Ukrainian army. Russian forces continue to make confirmed advances in Kursk Oblast and have likely begun attacking Sudza. Geolocated footage published on March 11th indicates that Russian forces recently seized Bondarevka, east of Sudza, Zamostai and Makhnovka, both southeast of Sudza. The situation on the border of Sumy and Kursk regions is under the control of the armed forces of Ukraine, and the enemy continues to lose its forces. A battalion of Russian infantry was virtually destroyed in several days of fighting near the village of Plekhov in the Sudzansky district, according to Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky. He is currently in the operational zone of the Kursk group of forces. Russia is using a significant number of troops, including North Korean ones, in the fighting in this direction. Many offensive actions are being recorded. A number of settlements on the border line, the names of which appear in the reports of Russian propagandists, no longer actually exist. They have been destroyed. Ukrainian forces conducted a large-scale series of drone strikes against Russia on the night of March 10th to 11th, largely targeting Moscow Oblast. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that elements of Ukraine's Security Service, SBU, Unmanned Systems Forces, Special Operations Forces, SSO, Main Military Intelligence Directorate, and other Ukrainian forces military struck a number of strategic objects in Russia on the night of March 10th to 11th. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Ukrainian forces struck the Moscow oil refinery's production facilities, which process 11 million tons of oil per year and provide 40 to 50% of Moscow City's diesel and gasoline. The Ukrainian General Staff reported explosions near an energy facility in Stalnoy Khan, Oryol Oblast, that controls processes within the Druzhba oil pipeline and supplies oil to the U.S. Teluga seaport in Leningrad Oblast. Moscow city and oblast officials claimed that drone debris fell in Domodedovo and Leninsky Rayon and struck civilian infrastructure and industrial enterprises in Ramenskoye and Domodedovo.